So by now, I'm sure that you've all heard that Senate Republicans have put forth their response to Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. And I'm also sure that you've heard that it's completely inadequate. It's only $618 billion and doesn't have everything it needs. But it's actually not all that bad. Yes, it is inadequate in many areas, but there are some things there to be offered. The $618 billion includes stimulus checks, although be it only $1,000 stimulus checks instead of $1,400 stimulus checks. And the threshold would now be $40,000 per person, $80,000 per married couple. I don't think that's going to fly, by the way, and I'm not completely impressed with that. I like the $1,400 number much better, and the old threshold as well. There is a $300 boost for unemployment per month all the way through June 30th. There's $20 billion for vaccine programs, $20 billion for schools, and there is no state and local aid in the offering. And Democrat leaders did come out very quickly and say that the bill was completely inadequate, and I will assure you that that bill will not, in fact, get passed. And very importantly, Biden is meeting today with 10 GOP senators. That's an interesting number, 10. I wonder why he picked 10. Because they need 10 Republican votes in the Senate in order to make this a bipartisan bill and meet that 60-vote threshold. And Joe Biden does, in fact, want this to be bipartisan. And I know a lot of people have their thoughts towards him. Many people like him. Many people don't. But I'm going to tell you this. He's a politician, just like any politician out there. He's not doing this because he wants to hand out a favor to the Republicans and compromise with them. He's doing it because his presidency just started, and he doesn't want to start out his presidency with a piece of legislation that is completely devoid of any Republican support, meaning the Democrats just pushed it through all on their own. If he does that, that's fine. You can get the bill through, and it's going to help a lot of people. I would agree with that. But it does set up a standard that as a president of the United States, you are not reaching across the aisle. You have 4 more years left, and if you want to jam something through, you're going to jam it through no matter what. And politicians don't like that, because politicians want to put forth a face that says, hey, we want to be in unity. We want to reach across the aisle. We want to work together in a bipartisan way. We want to compromise. And to not do that within the first month and a half would look very bad. So then, is there any area where they can compromise with the $618 billion Republican offer and the $1.9 trillion Democrat offer? I think there is, but only a little bit. And the area where I see some compromise could happen would be on the unemployment boost. I do agree that those who are on unemployment now, especially because of this pandemic, and a lot of people are losing their job, no fault of their own, because places are being shut down and some of them forcefully shut down, they should have an unemployment boost from the government. However, as we move forward in reopening things and getting things back to normal and with vaccines and all of the rest, I think that needs to begin to phase out. So in my opinion, that's where some compromise could be had. I don't know that they're going to go with the Republican offer of $300 per month until June 30th, but maybe they can have a phase out plan, something that's $400 or $500 per month and then phases out over time, or depending on how long somebody's on unemployment, it phases out over time. That would not be an unreasonable compromise and something that Republicans should agree with. However, if Republicans think that the Democrats and Joe Biden are going to compromise a lot, they're not. It's just going to be a little bit. And at this meeting that he's going to have today, he's basically going to tell them, listen, you can either get a little bit of compromise and we'll do a few things that you want, but most of it's going to be what we want because we're completely in charge, and you'll at least get something. But if you don't join us in this, we're going to do this without you. Biden's going to say this is your opportunity to do it. Are the Republicans going to take his offer? I highly doubt it, because I don't think there's going to be much compromising happening. I think that the bill, if there was any compromise, would be maybe a $1.8 trillion or a $1.7 trillion bill. So by the end of this meeting, Joe Biden's going to try to figure out, do I have 10 Republicans in the Senate to pass this thing in a bipartisan way? And my guess is by the end of the meeting, when he walks out of there and he's going to go get some food, something to eat, quench his thirst, whatever's going to go on, he's going to be thinking in his head, there is not 10 Republicans in the Senate who are going to vote for even a compromised bill. Therefore, he's probably going to call Nancy Pelosi up right away and say, Miss Pelosi, it is time for you to go ahead and go forward with the budget resolution and make sure that you plan in there a budget reconciliation bill that's going to include all of the programs we want, because we're going to have to go alone. And the way he's going to promote it to the American people is, this is completely necessary now. We want to do it with Republicans, but they are not willing. And if they are not not willing. It's unfortunate because I want to be a bipartisan president. I want to reach across the aisle, and I will offer that in the future. But right now, the situation is so serious with them not offering any compromise here that's even near what something we can take. We're going to have to go this alone, and we're going to use the powers that we have to make sure that the American people and the American economy gets the help they need. And the American people are going to hear that message, and they're going to be absolutely okay with it, even though he's not going to be able to reach across the aisle. However, there is a slim possibility that these 10 Republicans will be okay with some compromise and join Biden and the Democrats with this bigger stimulus bill, but I really don't think so. So what does the timeline look like right now? Well, today's the meeting that Biden's having with those 10 Republicans. I think it's not going to go good. I think it's going to solidify in Biden's mind, we're going this alone. He calls up Pelosi. This is the week where Nancy Pelosi said that they were going to pass the budget resolution. Remember, the budget resolution is not the stimulus bill. It's the foundation for planning out the fiscal policies in the future. They need to do this first before they can set up a bill to be passed through budget reconciliation. And remember, they can only do one budget reconciliation bill per year. This is something that Democrats and Republicans use to get through the programs they want unilaterally. And after this meeting, Joe Biden's going to know it's going to be unilateral. I don't think the 10 Republicans are going to join. So look for the budget resolution to be done this week, and then we're going to have to wait for the House to come back into session February 22nd. I know that's a long time. I see the comments. Everyone's like, wait, this is taking way too long. Yes, our government and our Congress run very slow, but we also need to recognize that they actually have to construct the bill first. It should be simple in our minds, right? $1,400 stimulus, this an unemployment boost, this for state and local government, right? Line by line items, very simple bill. Our government never does that. They always pile in other things here and there. Doesn't matter what side it is, Republicans or Democrats, they both do it. It's going to take them a couple of weeks even to write this multi-thousand-page bill. And when the House finally comes back in session on February 22nd, I believe they will have the bill already done. They will pass it through the House, and they will send it off to the Senate, at which point Chuck Schumer will put it to the floor, and the Senate will pass it through budget reconciliation. So I think it will happen right near March 1st. That's sort of the deadline. Now, it could be a little bit earlier than March 1st. It could be a little bit later than March 1st. Not really sure. I also believe that the Democrats will get their 50 votes, and it's probably going to be full on 50 Democrats for it, 0 Republicans for it in the Senate. But it doesn't really matter. It's budget reconciliation. All you need is the majority, and then Kamala Harris is going to be the majority vote at the end of the day, and it's going to go off to Biden for a signature. It wouldn't surprise me if it happens right on March 1st. I mean, the timeline is really setting up for that to be the case. So it looks very definite right now that this bill is going to go through. We'll keep you up to date on all that information. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or anything, put them in the comments below. A lot of you have been going through a lot of different situations with receiving your $600, and you've been helping each other out immensely in the comment section. I've been seeing it. The fact of the matter is we have, 30 or 40,000 views per video, sometimes 50 or 60,000 views per video, and it's very difficult for me to see all the comments that are down there. But with all the viewers, I can see that sometimes someone's asking a question and somebody responds with something very helpful. So I'd ask you to continue that going on. Look down in the comment section, and if somebody has a similar issue that you had, or you have some knowledge of that situation, just go ahead and comment to them and give them some help and point them in the right direction. That would be awesome. You guys are great. As always, I will catch you next time.